It was right.
I just need somebody who can write, 'cause
See what my handwriting looks like.
I
I
don't
have nice handwriting.
do so well. Intro and introduced. I'm Scott Hornbruch, and I'm here on behalf of the Veterans of Foreign Wars to talk to you today about an essay program, the Voice of Democracy Audio Essay Contest. And everything that I'm going to do today is probably going to seem a little, I don't know, strange in that it all comes in threes. In the military, you do everything in threes. Every military briefing has three main points. Well, what I discovered when I thought back to high school English, every persuasive essay has three parts: an introduction, a body, a conclusion, three main points in the body. If you do less than that, it's not effective. If you do more than that, it's dead boring. And so what you're going to find as you go through your life, that formula is always going to work. Whether you're talking about asking somebody on a date, trying to get hired for a job, trying to get a scholarship for college, explaining why you didn't do something the way you should have. Everything comes in three main points. You're going to introduce it, you're going to give them three main points, you're going to give them a conclusion. So, I'm Scott Hornbruch. How do I get to do this? Why do I get to do this? I'm a retired Air Force officer, spent 22 years in the Air Force as a pilot. Following my retirement from the Air Force, then I got sent back to school and I became a teacher. And I taught at Hawaii Job Corps for a number of years, and then I taught in public school in the state of Hawaii. And it's a tough job, somebody has to do it, go out to Hawaii and teach. And then I retired a second time and I came here, and now I get to volunteer doing this. Now, I wasn't always a teacher, I wasn't always a pilot. When I was your age, I was a rather poor high school student. My grades were poor, my life was pretty poor. I lived for Friday night and I lived for football, and I really didn't listen to the teachers very much until my senior year. And I had an English teacher, crusty old guy, named Mr. Dillenbeck. Well, Mr. Dillenbeck just kept on me and kept on me to do it better, do it right. And I kept asking him, why? It's not that important. I can speak just fine. Why do I have to follow your rules and be able to write just fine? And he explained to me real succinctly, the art of communication is the greatest skill you'll ever learn, because everything else you do depends on your ability to communicate effectively. Whether you're asking somebody for money to go shopping, whether you're asking a girl out on a date, whether the girl's deciding how she's going to tell you no, whether you're asking for a job, whether you're asking for a promotion, all the way through life, you're going to use this thing called a persuasive essay. All the way through life, you're going to have to use communication skills. Well, at age 16, I thought communication was with these. And I thought I was a pretty tough kid back then. And if I didn't agree with somebody, well, it was simple. We went out back and we settled it, and winner take all. Well, I found out that at age 16, all of a sudden, the world changes. At age 10, 11, 12, 13 back then, you could sit there and you could get in a fight, and after it was all over, everybody dusted you off and they scolded you, and maybe you got detention, and that was that. At age 16, you got in a fight, all of a sudden the police showed up and they put handcuffs on you and they hauled you off to jail. This ain't gonna work. I can't just rely on these. I I gotta rely on this. And then an amazing thing happened to me, because Mr. Dillenbeck put it to me. He said, do you realize that if you get this faster, these will be faster? I was like, you're kidding. What does my ability to communicate have to do with using my fists? He says, everything in the world. You get somebody looking at your face and listening to your voice, they're not watching your hands. You're going to win that fight. I was like, wow. This crusty old guy is pretty smart. So I started paying attention in class. He pushed, he pushed, he pushed. I'd turn in assignments. He'd give them back, say, not good enough. Do it again. Not good enough. Do it again. And he had a formula. And then that formula got repeated to me when I got in the military. I got in the military because I was about to be drafted back in the 60s, a thing called the Vietnam War. So I volunteered for the Air Force, and they started on the same thing. 3 main points, 3 main points. Everything's about the art of communication. Orders that you get, they have to be clear and effective. You have to understand them. When it's your turn to give the orders, you have to give them clearly and effectively. They have to be understood. It's all about communication. So, by way of introduction, that's why I'm here. Because I was where you are way better than I ever did in school, I'm sure. My high school graduating class was 115 students. I was number 90. It's not very impressive. When I went into college, I got mediocre grades, but I stayed. After I got out of college, I got sent to graduate school. In graduate school, it all clicked in. I got a straight 4.0 with honors certificate for my master's degree. Anybody can do it if I can do it. So, that's the pep talk.